Well, howdy y'all! Welcome to another high-powered episode of the High Voltage Live Show. I'm your host, Willie Snyder from NEC Code, coming to you live from the Mile High City in Denver, Colorado, joined by my awesome co-host, Mr. King James Stallcup, founder of the Stallcup Electrical Education, the best online thing you'll ever see going. And as always, I have an easy Willie Quiz to try to stump King James tonight, so I'm sure he's gonna love it. And like I say, it looks like we already have other people that's trying to come in and stump old King James too. So
DJ, who the hell is that?
Daniel.
Never even heard of the
guy. Telling you, it's getting around, man.
Why do you say 85? Is that the year you were born? I'm just curious what the 85's for.
85.
Guy says DJ 85. I'm just curious if that's a year.
Oh.
I don't see the answer.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. You guys lost the freaking Monday pick competition. So the champion in the house right here picked the Rams. But, oh, yeah, he's saying that's when he was born. That's his birth year.
Dang, that makes me feel old. I graduated in 82 from high school.
Right?
86 from the apprenticeship.
Daniel was like
when I was graduating apprenticeship.
Daniel was like 10 when I started the electrical trade.
God, dang.
So yeah, I know how it feels. All like I've been doing electrical such a long time, and it's crazy because they always like we had a service inspection, and they're like, yeah, we'd like you to go look over and just have a second set of eyes on it, see if you see anything. And it was kind of a gray area. I almost kind of want to do it as a myth, but they used bond bushings coming into the gear, but they didn't bond it. They didn't bond the ground. They just used them as like bushings, you know. And I think that's fine, but I think you got to have the screws in them. You know, like I don't know about just leaving the screws out, but to me, it was kind of a little bit of a gray area. I was like, I never really seen anybody do that before, you know. I don't see anything really wrong with it. It's an insulated bushing. You know, it's going to protect the wire, but it just looked weird without no ground lugs on them. And I guess they do come without ground lugs.
They do.
But I would say you need to put the screws in them. You know, they come with screws.
Well, the screws in there just to bond. They bond them in to keep it from moving also.
Right.
That's the main reason
So,
they're in there.
yeah, but it was pretty cool, like it's pretty awesome. As everyone knows, James is the ex-inspector from the city of Grapevine, the chief electrical inspector for the city of Grapevine, and I was recently on Ask the Lady Inspector podcast on Wednesday, so check her out on Wednesday. Wednesday at 7 o'clock, she has a call in. It's pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Just kind of talking stuff about code. And it's pretty funny because I feel kind of like there's a little bit of confusion when it comes to those VAV units, because I've heard of them requiring to have 36-inch clearance. Well, I mean, that's fine, and the duct guys can do that. They can offset the duct and they can move it and everything. But the whole thing is, you have a grounded grid that's in your working space, So to me, I would look at that unit as not likely to be worked on while energized because of the fact that you have to shut it off to open it. Now, granted, that would be if it has line side shields inside the equipment so that you're not, coming in contact with exposed energized parts. But like I was saying, I don't see a problem with, if that's equipment that's not likely to be worked on while energized.
If it's not likely to be worked on while it's energized, that falls into working with NFPA 70E, electrical safety in the workplace. And basically the main thing is you're supposed to de-energize if you can de-energize. And
right.
Just because you're going in, checking it to see that you have removed the voltage from the area and everything's de-energized, that doesn't mean you have to have a working clearance based on that.
Right.
And but now if you're going to be working at energized, now you need to have the working space. And that's what 110.26A says. You go over and look at it. It says likely to be worked on while energized when you're doing maintenance, servicing, things like that. So.
Yeah, and I just don't really feel that testing for the absence of voltage is justified energized work. You're saying that it's de-energized before you even open the equipment.
Sure.
And so to me personally, it's kind of a weird gray area because I was watching those guys set up those VAVs, and they didn't need the disconnect on.
Yeah.
They needed power to the unit so that the board could talk, but they didn't need the actual disconnect switch turned on to do any of their stuff. And I think if I remember correctly, there was some pretty good insulation on the line side conductors that come in to there. So I don't really see that as exposed energized parts. Even if you have that 277 or 480 volt breaker on, that's not what I would consider energized work. That's an electrically safe work condition. Even if your line side terminals are hot, if I remember correctly, they were pretty insulated to where you couldn't have incidental contact with them.
Well, sometimes, yeah, there's a lot of facilities that even take on the line side when you get in and you're working on different things, they'll put a shield in that provides that insulation from it. So a lot of manufacturers have started developing equipment that way, so the line side can be that way, but the road side can be completely de-energized.
True. And then I would say that in that case, you could make the argument that you don't need, you are compliant with 110.26A because it's not likely to be worked on an electrically unsafe work condition. Like you're not going to be manipulating those line side wires. You're not going to be doing anything. Like there's no reason for those guys to touch any of the line side wires. Like, funny story, it was pretty funny the way they wanted to fire up those VAVs. They just wanted to do a spray and pray, Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, you got to go to them and you got to verify and you got to do all this stuff, They're like, nah, just turn them on. It was all good, So next thing you know, they come to me and they're telling me that there's a bunch of bad transformers on them. And I was like, really? And they're all only on the 277 ones. And I was like, that's weird. I was like, that's really peculiar. I was like, let me take a look at it. So I went and looked, and they had like a terminal block. It was like an insulated terminal block with like 4 terminals. Mm-hmm. And they had like where we brought our power in was like terminal 2, and where the unit was hooked up was like terminal 1. Mm-hmm. So the freaking wires weren't even touching each other inside the unit, you know? Mm-hmm. And to me, when I was looking at that, that's what made me realize that I could see that being an electrically safe work condition with those insulated lugs, the way they're insulated. I mean, there'd be almost no way that you could make incidental contact with those energized conductors, and I didn't see any exposed energized parts in there, you know. Right. And so that's kind of where I'm like, I don't know that they really need to comply with 11026A. So it was a really interesting conversation I had with Tabitha. If you guys have any questions, on Wednesdays she takes questions, and she seems like a really thorough inspector, you know. And so,
all right,
a lot of fun. But I guess let's go ahead and roll the meme.
All right.
Dude, I think about that every time. So we were doing like this hotel, and they had all these signs, and we're walking in, you know, and it's all, please, or excuse our, you know, construction that's going on. You know, we're doing construction on our main room and our boardroom and everything. And so I went over there, and I was getting ready to fasten this box to the ground, you know, and it was a concrete slab, and I was just gonna fasten the box to the ground, and I hit that hammer drill, and I mean, it was like a freaking bomb was going off. They had like a $80,000 conference in the room next door, and they lost their mind on me, you know. And I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. I saw all the signs and everything. Oh, look, David in the house. Awesome. Hey, David. Yeah,
good. 96.
That's pretty funny.
96 on the first January question.
Yep, David's in the lead. It looks like he's doing good.
Tied with somebody, I can't remember who.
Yeah, and like I say, if you want us to post your score, we can too. But yeah, it was really funny because they came running. I guess it was some kind of like really famous lecturer that was like doing a $80,000 conference next door, and I just lit that hammer drill up and just. Man, it must have echoed through the whole building, you know, and I think about that. That's what I felt like that day, so it's pretty funny.
I personally think the meme, I think that bit caught, I think he'd throw him across the room. I don't think he had enough weight to hold it.
Oh yeah, David's ready. He's taking your money, bro. I tell you what, David's been waiting to take Stallcup's money. Dude, you know, speaking of that, I know that you've been using AI a lot. Come to find out, you've been looking at lakes now, and you're going to have a Stallcup lake. You didn't even invite me with my boat, man. I'm like,
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Man, I know you're thinking about getting a Stallcup lake going and get all our boats out there, but
there's going to be some good bass fishing, I can tell you that, and catfish.
Yeah, there you go. Nah, I'm just joking, David. I'm just messing with him, but we're all gonna get electric vehicle boats and go out there with our EV boats and our shore power. But no, it's pretty fun. I appreciate everyone joining. It's a lot of fun doing these. Have a really super easy Willie quiz. Like, dude, James is gonna get them all, and all Daniel has to do is get one wrong. James get them all right, and then he will take home the crown. But like I say, it's usually a tie, and I think I'm gonna have to get a tiebreaker question that I just do.
You did it once, and I won. So
yeah,
he probably got kicked back. Going, that's not fair. He gets to answer another one.
Yeah, yeah, Daniel. Daniel's pretty good, and so I will actually put together a tiebreaker in case there's a tie. Then we could have like a tiebreaker, and then if we win the tiebreaker, then Daniel still wins. So
All I know is Rome was built in 1,000,000 years. Oh, it wasn't that long. It's close.
oh, he said 800.
No, I'm checking with him.
800 years. Yeah, that was so hilarious. So that's a really interesting thing, like looking at Rome, because they said it was built in like 8 years, and I think it was Romulus that actually built it. That he put it all together, and they almost look at him as like some kind of god, the way that he was able to put all these roads and aqueducts and all this stuff together in 8 years. It's like one of the ancient marvels of how they were able to do it in such a short time. But 800 years, he would have had plenty of time. But big shout out, we got 3 over on the Rumble side, so thanks for joining us over on Rumble. Appreciate you. It takes James a little bit of time to put them together on Rumble, and so appreciate you doing that, James. And we got people tuning in, so
all right,
big
let's
shout
roll
out.
down to the myth of the week.
Let's do it.
Yep.
It's time for Myth of the Week.
All right, so this one I think is going to be a good one. I think everyone's going to really like King James's take on this. And like I say, I think that there's like a lot of terms that are starting to get kind of misused when it comes to, different kind of stuff. Now, if you go look at the standard for Class A protection, it's shock protection of personnel, but it does not eliminate that. So this myth is actually false, but it's, I think, kind of been a little bit misused, where everyone's sitting there saying, well, you have to have shock protection for personnel, and that in all actuality, that is not shock elimination. That is like shock reduction. And so I appreciate King James helped me out this week. I just kind of picked his brain about it, and I'm like, man, I really kind of want to understand kind of more of, where is this like a big deal? Like a lot of the newer stuff that's coming out, a lot of the newer appliances and stuff, they're coming with like built-in personnel protection. Now, where you get into the problem with this is a lot of the code making panels and stuff, they don't recognize that as personnel protection because it's over 4 to 6 milliamps. So I think we're going to have a little bit of an impasse coming in 2026 to where we're going to have some kind of an allowance for some of these appliances to have like a higher milliamp shock protection that's actually considered personnel protection. So I just think it's been getting a little over the top when it comes to people think like, oh yeah, I have to have that GFCI because it's shock elimination, and it's not. Nothing is shock elimination. And so I just appreciate you, James, kind of talking me through how I wanted to present this so that we could have like the best presentation, have people actually understand, what is the purpose of this Class A protection, and why is it so, getting like kind of so overused as like almost like people think it's a shock elimination, like it's not. And so I know that you had some kind of 70E references that you were going to bring into this, and like I say, I heard so much cool stuff, stories about you on the 70E panel, and I'll let you go ahead and take it from there, but I really appreciate it.
Well, it's funny because when 70E, we first started that committee, and I pretty much have been on that committee since it started. I think Dad was on there for like a cycle or two before I became his alternate, and that's been 30 years ago, probably. I don't remember how long we've been on that committee. But when we first had the committee, basically the document consisted of safety requirements that were in the National Electrical Code, and we basically replicated what was in the OSHA 1910 302 through 308. That's basically what it come to. And when you look at that document, when it first started off, it was to protect you from shock. That was it. It didn't get into the arc flash and all that stuff. So it evolved over time, basically.
And just so everyone knows, 70E is the standard for electrical workers' safety. So a lot of people get that confused too because they think it's all workers' safety, and that's cool if you're doing that, but it's only for electrical workers.
Yes and no. Well, let me explain.
I mean, occupational it kind of ties in with OSHA.
Yeah, we basically what we do is we address unqualified personnel that they have to be trained to know to read the signs and stuff, and then you've got where say I'm working in your area, we have it written in the different procedures where you may go talk to somebody that operates that machinery to let them know, do not try to operate this machinery at all until we confirm with you it's okay. So
Gotcha.
there are all these other little things that are in there. So really it is for electricians, or maintenance people are going to work on the equipment, but also we do address some on the qualified personnel, even though they're not trained for that. Okay.
Right.
So looking at that and based on what we've done on 70E through all the years, we've always looked at GFCI devices as basically what it does, it reduces the exposure to the shock. That's it. It doesn't eliminate the shock. And you can tell that just by looking at the definitions that are in Article 100 of the National Electrical Code, and it talks about the 5 milliamps. Now, this here, I want to show something that happened. Now, you'll have to go back and look in the 2021 70E, and you'll remember when you were talking to me the other day about it, Bill. I said, we did something with that in 2024, and I couldn't remember exactly what it was. We removed the definition of shock hazard. That's what happened. So, but in 2021 and 2017, 14, it had been in there, and basically what it says, it's a source of possible injury or damage to health associated with current through the body caused by contact or approach to exposed energized electrical conductors or circuit parts. Okay. Now, I didn't mean to hit that forward there. Now, when you look at that, we're telling you that there always is a possibility of a shock hazard. Now, one of the things you can go back and do is, and I didn't even put this in there because everybody's familiar with it, but if you go look at the National Electrical Code and look at Article 100, you'll see where we talk about the ground fault device. And when you go look at that GFCI device, it tells you how it operates, and basically, in essence, what it tells you, it's going to reduce the exposure of shock that you're going to receive. So in other words, you're not going to be electrocuted. And then also that exact same definition is still in the 2024 70E edition. Okay. Now, from there, it goes in and there's an informational note, and we tell you that injury and damage to health resulting from shock is dependent on the magnitude of the electric current. Okay. The power source frequency, 60 hertz, 50 hertz DC, it tells you, and the path, and this is what I want to point out again, and as you're looking at this, it says, and time duration of current through the body. Okay?
True.
So basically what happens from that gets your reaction ranges there from everything from perception, your muscle contractions, what we call the let go, the inability to let go, your ventricular fibrillation, tissue burns, and then possibly death. Okay?
Right.
So what we did is you look at NFPA and you go look at NFPA Link and you look at their enhanced content. They tell you here for this 2021 edition, the word expose was added to identify to the definition to clarify that a shock hazard exists only when circuit parts or conductors are exposed. That is, not suitably guarded, isolated, or insulated from inadvertent contact. This brings the definition of shock hazard in alignment with the definition for your limited approach boundary, which also specifies that energized conductors or circuit parts must be exposed. So they're basically telling you here, you got a shock hazard that's here. Somebody's working on this, and this is what's going to happen when you do get a shock, and what is the magnitude of that electrical current. So then we drop down right after that, and we say a person's tolerance to an electric current through the body varies depending on the path of the current through the body and the applied voltage. Now, the reason I want to make reference to this, because you've heard me say this when I've done 70E before. I said, one of the things that you're always trying to keep from happening is having what we call touch and step potential. And that's where it's from hand to hand or hand to foot. Because once it's running through the body, that's where you can have ventricular fibrillation at that point. Okay?
So you're saying, when you say touch and step, you're saying where it's going from hand to hand through your heart, or where it's going from hand to foot through your heart?
That's right. And
okay,
the reason I point this out is because like we were just talking a while ago about having working space in front of equipment. Well, if you let's say you have an older installation, this actually used to be in the code. I think it was 2 foot 6 inches was the clearance in front of equipment. Now we tell you the minimum is 3 foot. Okay.
Right.
So you got an old piece of equipment there. Well, what are you going to do in order to keep from having this touch and step potential? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to put a rubber insulating blanket up behind you, where you have something that you could touch that is a grounded object when you could be touching something that's energized. That's your touch and step potential we're trying to prevent. So
true.
Then it goes in and it says the tolerance level also varies from person to person. Then it tells you here a 60 hertz alternating current circuit, electrical current, occurring near 1 milliamps and 5 milliamps is the level typically considered to cause an involuntary reaction. Pain may be felt at a slightly higher current, and involuntary muscle contractions could occur around 20 milliamps. The direct current and higher frequencies can affect tolerance levels. So there's a reason that they want GFCI protection outside. Now, let me go through a little bit more. When they're requiring this GFCI outside, okay, for a receptacle, why are they requiring that there? Well, it's not for the electrician. This is from the homeowner, because they're directly interacting with that plug when they're plugging something in and out. That's what the GFCI protection's for. And that's why and I argue this all the time, that's why that's an outlet. There's an receptacle outlet is the box, and the receptacle is the device, okay? That's your outlet. That's why I've argued over time that the AC unit is not an outlet, because that's something that the homeowner's not directly interacting with. The same thing happens when you got a countertop in the kitchen. You've got water around on that countertop and everything. Who's interacting with that? The homeowner. It's unqualified personnel. That's what GFCI protection's really for. And it does not eliminate the shock. You're still going to get shocked, but it trips so quickly that it's going to be minimal, and you're going to feel it, but it's going to keep from having an electrocution in that area. So it does 210.8 does not take and completely get rid of shock, period. There's still going to be a shock there. There's going to be a reduction in the shock that's there. That's exactly what a GFCI device is for. Okay?
Yeah, and so just to kind of piggyback on that, you're going to have like a GFCI device. It's going to sense that current flow through the body, and it's going to open the overcurrent device. When you're looking at a device that's around 20 milliamps, they're not intending on the human contact to open the overcurrent device. They're intending on a leakage current that is higher than what you would want to go through the human body. So
that's right.
The reason that they use those higher milliamp overcurrent devices is when they're not intending of the person interacting with it. So then if there's a fault with the equipment, it trips prior to human contact.
That's correct.
So it's still a personnel protection. It's just not a personnel protection from direct interaction contact.
That's right. And that's the difference between the two.
Right.
Okay?
Well, no, awesome, man. That was so cool. I know a lot of people learned. And like I say, a lot of the people out there, they're really trying to push this 4 to 6 milliamp. And, dude, honestly, I would be all for it if everything worked. Like, if everything just worked like peaches and cream, then I'd be all for it. I'd be like, yeah, that's good. But there's a long list of things that don't function. So
yeah, and that's
cool.
That's why 210.8D they're about to delete a whole bunch of them. Then that's once again you got a code making panel wanting GFCI protection on something they hadn't provided any technical merit documentation to do so, and now it's getting taken out. And what they say, we came to a compromise. No, you didn't come to no compromise. The manufacturers told you to pound sands, what they told you to do. I'm telling you what happened.
That's gonna happen a lot more in 2026 when they start trying to push this and stuff. But what are you gonna? You got your topic ready to go? Is that what we're gonna do next?
Yeah, I think everybody's gonna like what I'm gonna show. Y'all know I've been busy. Well, I've been getting tons of requests, and we have been working. Golly, I guarantee I've been averaging over 10 hours a day trying to get everything ready to go. And everybody's been wanting to know when it's going to be there. Well, I'm about to show you. You can now go get the Journeyman and Masters are online. And I'm going to tell you this. You can go look, but I just reviewed it. And we're almost at 1,000 pages just for the master publication.
Wow.
With all the questions and everything that's there and the tests that we provide, all the calculations and everything. But let me go ahead and pull up because I'm going to show everybody what you will be able to have access to now. And these are all publications on there with all the interactivity, all that. Right now we're getting the presentation ready for the Journeyman and Masters. Excuse me. I expect that to be on the first of next week sometime for the instructors out there. So that is going to be one that we've been putting a lot of time in that we should have ready here pretty quick. All right. So this is going to bring us over to the site. And when you come over here, basically, you can come up here to your publications. You got all your different series that we've put together here. So if you want to just get a full publication, you want to look at the exam prep. We even got the calculation series in now. The instructor presentation series, that's about to be added with the Journeyman Masters. Design, there's only one thing in there right now, which is the electrical codes and standards that you follow. So we got that, but that's a free one. And we'll be adding to this in 2026. There will be a bunch in here when we get ready. There roughly be about
So
28
there
there.
was somebody at work asking me like how much free stuff you have on your site.
We'll look at it here in just a minute. Uh,
Okay.
we got the
So I
generator.
mean, there's one obviously we just looked at.
Yeah. Well, we got the generator series, the motor series, and the transformer series. And just to
Hmm.
give you an example, here's the calculation series. Come over here and you'll see that we have it all in the publication form here. We got everything from doing electrical theory, your AC circuits, DC circuits, how to do your Ohm's law and pi formulas, and we got designing your different wiring methods, calculating conductor ampacities from size and overcurrent devices in your residential and commercial calculations. Okay, so you have that, and then if you go to the exam prep series, this is where you pick up the journeyman and masters. Now, I've set this up to make it where, depending on your budget, you can do whatever you want to do. Right now, they're at 50% off just to the end of January. Then that goes off. But we got where you can purchase the full journeyman exam prep publication. If you just want to purchase just the questions, we have the questions. If you want to purchase the questions with the calculation problems, we got that one there. And then we did the exact same thing for the masters here. So if I wanted to go over and say, look at the masters here, for instance, come over here, everything's set up. You go here to purchase, do whatever it is you want to do. We even show you here. Here's some examples of the illustrations that are in there for you to look at. And then this is a outline of all the topics that are covered by each chapter. So we
Nice.
give you a full description of everything that you would want to do in this program. Now,
It's almost kind of like maybe somebody like me kind of like went in there and pushed you to do a little bit better. But I'll tell you what, honestly, I was blown away. It freaking you cleaned it up a lot, man. It's so freaking tight now, man.
yeah, there's been quite a bit done here, and but anyway, if you click here, it comes to the masters. Now, what I've done here, you can just go here to continue, or you can come down here, and you'll see I have it set up. The masters is so big that I had to put it in three parts. So there's three parts here, or you can go and look at them at individual chapters. So just hypothetically, let's just say I wanted to look at commercial calculations. I'm going to click it. I'm going to stay in an individual chapter here, and we'll fit this inside here. And then I like to queue this up right here because you can scroll through this quicker. Uh, right here, here's all your different things here. So, and this is where you're going to do a full calculation. Okay. So, say I wanted to come in and I wanted to look at this and I wanted to look at lighting loads. I'll just click here and you'll see here we show you got the general lighting load, you got your show window track, low voltage lighting load, outside lighting loads, and outside sign lighting loads. Then you come through here and then you can work all of these right here. Okay. And I'll show you in just a second. We've actually have the answers to all of these. But before you do these calculations, you'll see we've got the sections and everything set here to show you exactly how we perform that calculation. Okay. So like this, and we're doing a non-continuous lighting load and continuous lighting load. Okay. To give you all the sections to go through. Then we'll show you one like right here. Here's one that we're going through and we're showing all the different lighting loads here. But this is one where you don't have an occupancy. So it could be a welding shop, anything like that. But it's something that's not listed in 220.42A. So if it's not listed, you have to do all these individual. Well, we got all the different lighting loads here for you to calculate the load and then go size it. Now, that's pretty cool. I like,
So are those all in 2023 then? All updated?
yep, this is all 2023 updated.
Nice.
Now, I'm going to show you another one here right here, you'll see we show you all the standard calculations. Then we got our optional here. Okay. So let's just say I'm going to look at just we'll say a 120, 240 volt single phase service, and it's a store and warehouse. I'm just going to click here, and this is going to pull up, and right here, we've done a full form for you to follow, and you just go step by step. We've got them grouped out. You do all your lighting loads, and you'll see all the sections are here for you to follow. Then we've got the receptacle loads here. We got the special appliance loads, compressor loads. We just give you everything here. Then we give you another one here where you come in and take all these loads here, and then you fill in the blanks and see if you can do it right. Okay?
Nice.
So we have
full
forms for you to work everything. And then after you do that on the first problem, then we actually set it up to where you come in and size the conductors, and then we come in and have you size the overcurrent protection device. I mean, it just goes on and on. You come in here, then we tell you how do you go and size the ground and neutral service conductor. We got all the sections and everything here for you to follow. So like right here, let me go down one more. Right here, we're showing you the sections to go through in order to do this. Okay? So
Nice.
we tell you the tables to go to and everything, and then we ask you to come in and size your rigid metal conduit. Okay? So you get to do all that, and then, and as you can see, I'm just going on and on. But right here, then we start asking you all these questions, which is pretty cool. And then after you get through answering all of these, then if you want to check if you filled all those blanks in and right, you come down here and you'll see here's all the A, B, C, Ds and everything. So you can go in and check to see if you did the calculation properly. Now I'm going to show you something else here. This is where you get in. I'll have to go to part 3 for this. But you're going to see this is the third part of this, and this is when you're getting down to the nitty gritty. You're finishing everything.
Dude, do you know how many people like hit me up on all my groups for people that want to take the masters and want master study guide?
I'll tell you, you learn from this, man. You'll pass, because this is the most complete master publication out there. I'll guarantee it. And there is one master publication out there that allows you to fill in the blanks and work the problems and everything to see if you.
Even Weedman agrees. Right on, Weedman. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah.
What did he say?
Weedman thinks it's the best too. That's awesome.
He did? Huh.
Yeah, he just said yep.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right.
So then you've got all these questions. There's 700 questions here for you to go through. So you can see this scrolls a long way. It just keeps going and going. So you want to, now these are 700 harder questions than what we have in the Journeyman. Okay, there's extra ones in here that are much harder to learn. And then you're going to notice we do them all by articles. It's in line with each article. Okay, so you can learn each article as you go. So we kept everything grouped where it's easy to follow, and you'll see there will be some calculation problems in there that we even ask that we want you to do that apply to that particular article. They're just quick ones. Okay, then I'm going to show you something else that we did here, which I think a lot of people will like. I went a little too far. Let me go back up here. And I like this. We also set up where you can test yourself. Okay? So we've got 10 tests. We just randomly pick. They start off a little easy and they gradually get harder. But you'll see you come through and there will be 24 questions. And it's sort of the same way that I set up the other one. I put 24 questions in the death match, but most of these we do 20 questions or 21 questions and 4 calculation problems. But we just set up and you just come through here and you just go through and answer all these questions, and then you start
Dude,
working.
I don't know. I don't know why it is. Every single time in the death match, I get like at least 2 or 3 wrong that I should have got right. You know, I'm just like, why? You know, like my brain just goes to the wrong number or something. It's just weird, you know. But like I said, I got a 79%. I want to give everyone a good chance, you know.
Oh, of course. And then here's your journeyman. Same thing, set up. You just as you go through all this, you'll see everything's here for you now. And the great thing about this is you still have this right here. If you want to, as an instructor, let's say, you can still hook in with your different learners and stuff, and then you can also have discussions over here on the side. So as an instructor, if you want to come in and say, hey, I want to have this class for this many students, we'll set it up with you, work it out and everything, and then the public won't see the course because it'll be a private course. And then from there, just you and your students, you're teaching from this class right here. And everything is set up for you.
Did I have any public comments in there?
That'd be over on the blog and in the community. The community that's right here. So,
gotcha.
you know, and that as this thing gets going, I got a feeling the community's going to be, it's going to be pretty big, I think. But
nice.
you know, I'm trying to get all the publications and stuff done at this time, and as I get everything done, then I'm going to be adding the rest of it. The first round that I'll go, like the Journeyman and Masters, you'll have the illustrations where you can actually work the calculations online. And when I get that completed, I actually will show this as one of the topics of the week. Now,
did you already discuss the like gold, silver?
I will here in just a second.
Okay.
So here is what's free right now. You can come in. We've got the 2023 Electrical Codes and Standards publication. Matter of fact, I'll just go show that so everybody can see what it looks like. You can go, and what I tell people, go ahead and come on and everybody that's come on's pretty much already put it in their queue, and this is for you to go over and look and see what's there. One of the things we have here is just introduce yourself. It's just sort of a thing, so anybody that's joining the death match or stuff, it helps on the account and stuff because I put it in another file so I can keep everything updated. Then you've got your Electrical Codes and Standards publication here, and this is actually really good because you can come in and see how it works and it doesn't cost you anything. So you want to come in, and this is actually, you can go look at other websites and stuff. They actually have, some of them have this where they talk about the electrical codes and standards and they charge you like $30-40 for it. Okay.
Right. And this is 100% free, right?
This is 100% free. So
nice.
If you wanted to come in and let's just say you're looking at this and you wanted to see what the purpose of NFPA 79 is, or we'll say 79. You just click here and it'll come over here. We'll tell you what the purpose of NFPA 79 is. We've got an illustration that ties it in and everything. We even tie it in with some of the OSHA stuff here for the covers and guards for this particular illustration. And then we talk about third-party certification. We come in, explain all of this, the National Electrical Safety Code, and you can go through and look at all this. And we talk about the UL White Book. And in other words, what
79, is that industrial equipment?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And what we try to do is give you something here so you learn the basic code structure and how it relates to other standards in the industry. Okay? And it's a full write-up. You can come through here and just have fun with it and see that we're actually offering you something here. So if you look here, here's some people downloaded. You can come in and say, I want to talk to David about something in here. I can ask him directly, or anybody has this, I can take and have a post over here. I might post a standard here. Say for instance, I'll give you an example here.
Well, I didn't download 79 yet? Oh, man. All right. I had to get on that.
Yeah, you should have it. I mean, you need to get in there and learn. I don't know what you're waiting
I
on.
know, right? I'm freaking slacking.
But just to give you an example here, let's say that I was looking at this here, and I wanted to take and say you're discussing something here that deals with NFPA 70E. Here's the standard here. I want to share this here. Right there, that takes me right over to the standard development on this, and you can go over there and provide a link over there, because that's something somebody may say, where do I get that at? It's posted here for you to find. Nice. So you can do everything. If there's something you're looking for, somebody's on here, they can say, yeah, go over here, and they can provide a link here for you to go find it. So
you know the one thing I don't like about it? That just stops all the arguments.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, and it's one of the good things that we've done with this is to make this very, very intuitive and make it something that everybody can use and actually converse back and forth. Now, one of the things, and I want to show one more here, and then I'll be getting close. Now, I'm going to go back here because I want everybody to see something here. Now, here's the master publication. I'm just going to go back up here to the top, and I'm just going to grab an illustration here. Okay, now I'm going to increase this. Now, when you look at this illustration here, you're going to see right here that I have all these fill in the blanks right here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, and I'm going to explain the reason I'm showing this is because when I get it ready, this is going to be part of the silver package. Okay, which we're about to go.
Yeah,
back.
I'm pretty sure it was me that said it would be cool if you could fill in the blanks.
Well, one of the great things about this is anywhere on this illustration you see one of these sections, I mean, you scroll down to any of them. In here, you see all these sections here, you can just hover above that and click it, and it'll pull it up. So you can see it there, you can use your code book, whatever.
Oh, dude, Weedman said it was me. Oh, I forgot. Okay, yeah, I guess it was me. Thanks, Weedman.
Okay, so now when I go and look at this here, this is what we're talking about, the bronze, silver, and golden package. Now, the bronze package is a cheaper package. Basically, all it is an interactive publication. Everything I was just showing you that you could do, that's your bronze package. Okay? Now, the silver, what is going to happen there, that's where I'm going to have the illustration. And on that illustration, anywhere there's a section, table, or anything, you're going to be able to click that, and it's going to be able to pull up that section or table. And then also where I was showing those fill in the blanks there as you're working the problem, when it comes into the online course portion, it'll have the publication still, but where it has the online course, you'll be able to click those blanks that are there and fill in the value. And then right below that, after you finish working the problem, I'll have an accordion file set there, and you can go in there and you can put all the all the answers are already there, and you can check and see if you performed the calculation correctly. Now,
nice.
When I get to the golden package is where it'll actually have the video, where we have the voiceover and everything, and we're explaining everything for you and what you need to look at. That's where we go in and through 70 years between Dad and I, going through giving you tips and things like that, stuff you need to think about when you're prepping for that test or whatever slide we're covering at that point. So basically what we tried to do is set up 3 different packages based on what your budget is. So in other words, if I look at this, let's just say that I'm going and I'm looking here at the Journeyman exam prep. Okay, the publication's $89.95. You're probably looking at another $40, let's say. So it may be $129.95. And then when you put the video into it, it probably jumps up to say $159.95. Okay. So you get 3 different sets there based on what you want to spend, that fits your budget. Okay. More than likely, I think most people will not be high on the video portion. I think more people are going to want the online course that has the clickable sections and stuff. I think they would rather go that route than the publication route. When we first started this, we only had one option. That was with the whole online course with publication and everything. Well, what happened when we started, I started getting people say, hey, could you just have it where that publication could be on there? And I said, I never really thought about it. So based on some feedback I was getting from people, I decided, what we need to do here is we need to set this up to where there's different versions here that they can purchase, and therefore we can meet their budget. Okay. Now,
the one thing I really want to say that I really liked about, I was kind of asking you about pricing when it came to all your different publications, and what your answer was really awesome. I liked it a lot. It was based like you are like the least expensive in the industry per hour of what you actually provide, and that's what I thought was pretty awesome. And Weedman says, yeah, he likes that too. So that's pretty awesome.
Well, I listened to a bunch of them say, there's no way I can do what I'm doing. And I said, well, actually, I can get it to do this and this. And that's where we spent a lot of time trying to figure out these few little things to make it work properly. And I think at this point, I think we've accomplished that. I don't think there's much else that we have to do except for get those illustrations in and making them fully interactive. Once all that's done, we'll eventually come in and put the video in, but I think just the publications and having access with the illustrations and interactivity with that, I think that's going to be the 2 main driving things behind this. But, like I say, each to his own, what they like and all that. But we're just going to keep bringing everything to the best that we can at this point. And that's pretty much what we just finished. So you now have the exam preps are all set up for you. You got the generator, transformer, motor. They're all set up as individuals too that you can purchase. You got the grounding and bonding. You got the lightning protection. And you also have the hazardous classified locations and the 70Es coming probably about March. And then we start on the 2026. Now, I will tell you the 2026, it will come with video and the illustration and everything. I will have it as a publication, but the reason it will come with a video, and I'm going to keep it that way because that's what's going to get submitted to the states for license approval, which is about to start taking place here pretty quick. So that was the topic of the week, showing everybody what had been accomplished up to this point, and everybody's been asking. So, I'm getting a lot of comments from people. I mean, my messages are blowing up, and I can tell you that there's going to be a major thing that's going to be done by Builder's Bookstore. They're like one of the biggest sellers in the construction industry, and we are their #1 publisher there for electrical. And they told us that they are so impressed with what they've seen.
Well, wow. Yeah, Weedman's all over that. Okay. Yeah.
Proof. I don't. Okay. But anyway, like I was saying, I'll tell you, I got the proof for you, Jeremy. Just watch and see the email campaign that's about to go out, because anybody that's ever bought anything electrical from them, they're about to promote this site right here. They said it was the most impressive site they've ever seen, and they get people that come in showing new things they've done and all this, and they were so impressed. They're matter of fact, they're scheming right now on how they're going to promote it, because it has so much interactivity to it. So, it's
all right.
been a long road.
Should we? It looks like it's time for the quiz. Should we roll the quiz? See if anybody pops in.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and roll it. Let me get it. Here we go.
Dude, that still cracks me up, man. Big shout out to Adam. Go check out Team SOS podcast, man. Give a shout out from Willie to Adam, man. Adam's a good dude.
All right.
All right. Question number 1. Good luck, Daniel. Question number 1. Which NFL team was the first to officially adopt a mascot? Was it A, the Cleveland Browns? Was it B, the Minnesota Vikings? Was it C, the Baltimore Ravens? Was it D, the Kansas City Chiefs? Or E, the Green Bay Packers? Good luck, everyone. He's lurking.
Well, this is interesting because, golly, I know the Packers don't have a mascot. That I do know. It would have to be, trying to think, the Chiefs have been around a long time because they left Dallas and went there. So.
Oh, dude, Daniel's going Cleveland Browns. Ooh,
that's interesting.
That's a good answer, man.
See,
Cleveland Browns have been around.
I was looking at Cleveland and Kansas City. Those were my two. I was trying to remember. They got the. I don't think the Cleveland Browns. I don't think, because I'm looking. I'm trying to. I remember their mascot, but I don't think he came out till. That would have been what, early 90s, late 80s, somewhere in there. I think Kansas City's was in the 80s too. That's got to be one of those.
Yeah, the mascots were kind of later. They weren't.
Yeah. I think it's.
I don't think the Packers even wanted a mascot.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. It may be the Browns, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I'm gonna differ from them this time.
All right, so no copying Daniel's answer. Daniel says the Cleveland Browns. King James says the Kansas City Chiefs. And the correct answer is B, the Minnesota Vikings. They had a Vikings mascot in 1960s.
Really?
So the very first mascot was the Minnesota Vikings. So I told Daniel I was going to get you. I got you. All right. Question number 2. What is unique about the Denver Broncos mascot, Miles? He is an actual horse that runs on the field during games. He was created to celebrate the team's 25th anniversary. He was introduced as part of NFL's push for mascots in Super Bowl 33. He is the only mascot that wears Super Bowl ring. He has been played by the same person since 1999. Good luck, everyone.
this is interesting. I know it's
I was pretty sure
not
you
an
already know
actual
this
horse, so I know it ain't A. And
I started laughing because, like, I try to put in, like, the answers that I know you're not going to pick, but...
you know I'm not picking A. I know that.
Ooh, Daniel! Oh, he wears a Super Bowl ring! Ooh, dude! Ooh! Daniel might be on fire tonight, man. I don't know.
Well,
see.
I know he wasn't created to celebrate the team's 25th anniversary, and I know he wasn't introduced by the NFL's push, but I do know that he was introduced after they won the Super Bowl, but it wasn't based on a push by the NFL. So that leaves the last two. And you can correct me on this if I'm wrong. God, it's a tough one because I'm trying to go on memory, but isn't the guy that played Miles, wasn't he a teenager at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. And now he become mayor too. And I think he's been the guy that's played him since then. So I think it's E.
All right, so Daniel's going D, wearing a Super Bowl ring. King James is going E, played by the same person since 1999. And you were both wrong. He was introduced as part of the NFL's push for mascots after Super Bowl 33 when the Broncos won. So
I didn't know
yeah,
the
they were
NFL
trying to push mascots, and that's where Miles came from. But I'm gonna have to double check Daniel. You know, he might be wearing a Super Bowl ring after that. You know, I don't know. I don't think he does, but we'll have to see. It was really hard to see when me and Daniel were at the game. He was up on the scoreboard, so we couldn't really see that far away. All right, question number 3. Why doesn't the Green Bay Packers have an official mascot? A, the team believes in the cheesehead culture is mascot enough. B, the Packers are owned by fans and voted against having a mascot. C, the team historically associated with bull as being their symbol and retired it. D, NFL regulations once prohibited mascots for publicly owned teams. Or E, Wisconsin cheese producers voted against the fan choice. Good luck, everyone.
Well, damn.
I told you I was gonna make it a little harder than Monday.
Well, I know at one time they did, because they're the Packers. They actually at one time actually had somebody that was on that actually dressed up down there one time. I remember them talking about it, but the costume was so hot he had heat exhaustion and stuff, so they did away with it. He was dressed up like a Packer. It was an ugly ass costume that they had on. But since then they decided no, they wasn't going to have one. But I do know, isn't it like 300 and something thousand fans own stock in the Packers? I do know that. I'm gonna go with B. That's the only thing I know that the fans do own part of it. So I'm going with
Yeah, no, you are 100% right, and Daniel is 100% right. You are wrong. It is A. The team believes the cheesehead is enough culture for their mascot, so that was voted on by the fans. So they decided, and they won it. They don't need a mascot. So
all right.
Question number 4. Which NFL mascot was introduced into the Mascot Hall of Fame first? Was it A, Rowdy with the Dallas Cowboys? Was it B, Swoop from the Philadelphia Eagles? Was it C, KC Wolf with Kansas City Chiefs? Was it D, Sir Purr with the Carolina Panthers? Or was it E, Rampage with the LA Rams? Good luck, everyone. Man, Daniel is on a freaking hot streak right now. Daniel's got a 1-question lead on you. You haven't got a single one right yet, but
I
man.
was trying to think. I'm looking at the oldest one here, which I thought I'm gonna go with C. I think it's Kansas City. They're the oldest one, so I think he would go before the rest of them did.
All right, so you decide to copy Daniel, and boom, you guys are correct. So so far Daniel is up 2-1 on King James, but good answer is the KC Wolf. All right, question number 5. Which of these mascots is not part of the NFL? A, Big Red, Arizona Cardinals. B, Blitz, Seattle Seahawks. C, Rory, Detroit Lions. D, Clutch, Houston Texans. Or E, KC Wolf, KC Chiefs. Good luck, everyone.
Well, I actually know this one. You gave me one I actually know. What Daniel go with? Because I already know what I'm answering. What did he go
with? This might be. He's going A, Big
Wrong.
Red.
Wrong.
Oh.
It's wrong. It's D. The Houston Texans, because I'm in Texas. I know this. The name of their mascot is Toro.
Oh, man. Jeez, I can't believe this. You freaking got it right. And
I know
Clutch is actually the mascot for the basketball team.
Yeah, I know it's Toro. That I know 100%. I was looking at it, I go, I know this question. Finally, one I can guess at.
With a tie, Daniel takes the win. So we need to get a tiebreaker in there.
Oh, shit. I'm tired of all these.
Doesn't matter. Daniel, he crushed you. You went 0 for 3 to start.
You almost had me, Daniel. You just couldn't get that last one in, brother.
What do we got to do? Tool review?
Yeah. Tool review it is.
It's time for Tool Review of the Week. Sponsored by Electricians Only Tool Review and Nipex Tradesman.
Some guys just cannot wait for the tool review, but we got it, Weed Man. We're doing the tool review. All right, brother. I know you want it. Come on. All right, so this is basically the DeWalt version of what the tool I had last week. This is actually what I was trying to get when I went to get my set. And just to let Daniel know, I do have the red version Milwaukee in my pouch, but these are really nice for like industrial applications. You could beat on them. They have the metal on the back. It's essentially the same exact thing as the Milwaukee version, but it's just DeWalt. But like I say, they have them both sold in this like 2 screwdriver set. DeWalt, I thought, had a little bit more versatile selection as far as they have like a demo set that comes in a 5-pack. I couldn't really find it as far as all in the 5-pack setup, but this comes in like a 2-pack. I didn't want to be like unfair to Milwaukee or anything, and so I just compared them apples to apples, oranges to oranges. I think they're pretty much the same exact thing. I was doing it as like a review because I've been using the Milwaukee one. I feel the DeWalt one, when I first started this job, I was using the DeWalt one. I was borrowing it from somebody. And then I decided, hey, I'm going to go buy my own. So I went and bought the Milwaukee one. And like I say, I haven't seen any difference in them. They're same length, same strength, same... the one thing I did like, they do have like the plus and minus sign on the back. So if you're like looking in your tool pouch, you want a Phillips, you can grab it. If you want the straight, you can grab it. What's nice about these is like when you're banging in those Zappits, the Zappits have like a Phillips head on them, so you can drive them in with that Phillips head, and it doesn't, the anchor doesn't bend up on you or anything. So I really like both of them equally. I would not give either one an advantage just because of what name it was, but I just wanted to be fair to DeWalt and actually do a DeWalt one. And like I say, these are the ones I would have bought if they would have been in the store. But the Milwaukee ones were there. I bought them. They've been great. Like I say, I recommend every electrician getting a beater screwdriver.
All right.
So now everyone's waiting for the question. A question for King James.
Oh, okay. Is that what he was at? What did it say? You took it off to.
Yeah, he's been waiting for the question. He just wants a question. He think
okay.
I told him I was gonna try to stump you, but I don't know. I cleaned it up quite a bit, so you know.
Okay. Well, let me see what it is. For adjustable feature, over 1,000. Okay. Well, if it's less than 1,000, it's 115%. And you can, even for a motor, you can go over and look at 43110.A, and it's 115. But when it's over 1,000 volts, I'm trying to think, because you're dealing with frequency drives. I think it's 430.128 or something like a 126, I think, for the 115%. But when you're over 1,000 volts, I think it's 430.208. It was a code change in the 2023, and they added a sentence there that said that the rating's not less than 100%, and that would be C. But I think it's 430.208 if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. Looks like Weedman got it wrong. Oh, dang it. So close, Weedman. Oh, dang it. Oh, well.
He says it's 115%?
Yeah.
No. Give me 1 second. Let me go over here to NFPA link. The way I like to look at it, I can bring this up so everybody can see that.
I didn't say anything about percentages in there, but whatever. I didn't say 100,000%.
I think it's 432.08 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 432.08. Let me pull this up.
You're correct. Yeah, you got it.
When you go over and look at NFPA link, let me share the screen. Everybody can see that is the answer. There's NFPA link. You should be able to see it now on the screen. If you look at 432.08, let me increase it here.
Weedman's got to learn this one because he got it wrong.
Yeah, if you look at the last sentence there, it says for adjustable speed drive systems, the disconnected main shall have a current rating not less than 100% of the rated input current of the power conversion equipment. And when you come up here and you look at this section right here, let me go forward here. Right here, it tells you you're in part 11. That's over 1,000 volts.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, some guys just they get them wrong, and like I say, I couldn't fool you on that, and so good job, King James. I tried to get you. I tried to sneak one in on you, and you got it. Like I say, I've only got you a couple times, so.
Well, if you look at the 2020 code, it would have been 115% by 2020, but they added that in the 2023 at 100%, and
Right.
that is the answer. So,
But like when you think about it, it really makes sense, like common sense, when you think about it, because you think if like you have power conversion equipment in there, it's only gonna have to be rated for, like, let's just say you have a 4160 gen set, right?
mm-hmm.
So all your stuff in that gen set's only got to be rated for 4160. You don't have to have like anything rated for like 5,000 volts. You know what I mean? Like that's just silly. So it makes sense. I get it. You know.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think when we did the code change, we even had a author's note in there that we explained that, if I remember correctly. So,
yeah.
But
true.
Those are things,
Sorry. Try next time, Weed Man. You got it wrong. But all right. So let's go to the Wall of Shame picture.
All right.
Shame. 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 Shame.
All right. Let's see what the Wall of Shame is this.
Oh, dude. So, honestly, like our prayers go out to all the people affected by the wildfires in LA, and that's horrible. But man, I can't believe this thing's still standing solid as a rock, man. That's crazy.
Wow. I tell you, they got some tension on them lines from four directions. God.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. Like, I mean, I don't even know if they even need to put a post back in there. Like, what? We could just do that from now on. There don't even need to be no code on if we have a pole or not. Just
Wow.
we'll have to get with Mike Barr and see if we could get some new utility code written so we don't need to get any poles in the way of anything.
Well, you can call that a pole outlet. It's in an infinite space.
True. It's a point on the utility where current is taken to feed utility. So like dude, no, you can't do that because then they'd have to change the definition of pole.
Yeah.
Like that was so funny. Like they're all arguing with me about it, and they're like, they didn't change nothing because you and King James. I was like, really? I was like, I'm pretty sure they did, but it's
Wow.
pretty funny. Like it cracks me up.
And this is in LA where the wildfires took place.
Yeah, Tempor.
Wow. I'm gonna show you that one. That's something there.
It was kind of like a blowtorch went through. But I wanted to give a big shout out to Adam. Adam couldn't make it, but awesome. Adam, Team SOS. Go check out Team SOS podcast. That's awesome, man. Thanks so much. Pickle shot for you, Adam.
Pickle out.
Yeah, it's so awesome, man. So cool. When Adam shows up, hangs out with us and everything. And like I say, it's so awesome. All the different people we get in here. Appreciate it that, Daniel shows up, David Englehart, Mr. E, Electrical Code Wizardry. It's so awesome. We haven't seen Andrew in a while. I think maybe his Sooners didn't do so well, so maybe Andrew didn't show up. But that's the whole thing. We got a lot of different football teams in here, and a bunch of people liking them. And thanks for so much for the comments tonight. That's awesome, man. Keep the comments rolling in there.
Well, the thing it amazed me is to all the different social media outlets and profiles and stuff. I've been amazed at how many people been viewing lately. I'm just like, what the hell's going on? But
Yeah.
you know, hey, way I look at it, you know, we're rolling in here in February. We'll be at 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah, 3-year anniversary. That's freaking awesome. Like, and I think about that. That would have to be like close to probably like 200 episodes.
Yeah.
So we're getting there.
It's a lot of episodes, and you know, here we got 2025. We're in now, and you know, we got the new learning management system with all that stuff being posted on there, and I'm about to here by summer. It's really going to be full with all the breakdown of the myths and the topics and tools. All of that will be on there. Everything, you know, it's just hard to do everything at once. I got certain things I got to get ready for the publisher and stuff. And I've been working.
Well, I'm really glad that you liked the way I revamped the mascot quiz, and I was going for the jugular on you because I was like, oh man, he said this shit's easy. On Monday, I was like, nah, man. I was like, oh, you're not going to get me. I'm going to do some research. I'm going to get down. So I went a little deeper this time, and I got you. I got you, brother. I didn't get you on the code question, but like I knew that was in your book. I knew you would have remembered that as one of the code changes for 2023. So
well, the reason
not so many other people remembered it as a 2023 code change.
I just got through redrawing for the motor book or the generator transform motor publication, and I had to go in and redo article 431.22, and then we got the high voltage after that, and that was one of the new illustrations that went in. I redrew it and everything. That's why I
okay.
what it was.
So just so you know what's going on with the question. So I posted it exactly word for word how it's in the Stallcup code change book, and it didn't say anything about voltage. So like just letting you know that it's in there. The way it's referencing that section, it doesn't say anything about.
The reason it doesn't, because there wasn't a change to the other. It was just the change that applied to that. There's no reason to put it because you're just doing the changes.
Yeah. And it's a trick question, and somebody got tricked.
Well, it's just, when you go and look at what changes were in there, there was no change to 1,000 votes or less. It was only over 1,000 votes. That's why we have it in there that way. It's just the changes that took place. So, there's no reason to clarify it because it's a code change book. Now if it was written in like the Journeyman or Masters, it would clarify that. But for the code change book, there's no need to clarify it.
And it was a really good code change book. I really like it to try to fool you on the code question of the week, and I was unsuccessful this week, but I will try again next week, and I will try a little harder one. I know anytime I'm in motors, I'm not going to get you. Motors is your strong suit, so I can't go to motors. I got to go to like wiring methods.
Yeah, I think it you get to talking too fast, sometimes you screw up.
10-4.
And in that particular one, the questions were coming in so fast. I remember when I was on, was that NEC Live or where it was called? I remember there was probably, God, how many questions came in? There was questions just to ask me about calculations. I was doing problems like, making problems real quick and going through it, getting on the sections and the step-by-step process to do it. And
dude, like it was who was it? Derek Bigstall, was it?
Derek. After we got Derek goes, man, I don't know how you do that quick. He goes, matter of fact, when we were doing it, they were wanting to highlight NFPA link, and Derek was going, James, slow down. He goes, man, you're quoting this stuff way too quick. I was like, well, and then after we got off, he said, I'd heard from other instructors at NFPA how you and your dad were. Y'all just quote stuff and you go through it, make problems of it. He goes, I heard about it. He goes, but until I saw it tonight live in action, he goes, now I can see why. He goes, God dang, dude. I was like, well.
Dude, I'll never forget, like, it was funny because they were like Derek was like, hey, we have a question for Willie Snyder over here, and you guys both just started busting up laughing. And it was just so funny because I was like, oh man, what's this gonna be, And to me, that's what I try to be, and the whole thing, is that basically I said that it was 2023 in the code cycle, so you would have to go look at the 2023 to see where the change was.
Biggie was okay. First of all, he did say that, and I'll give you another example. I went on Mark Candel's, and he goes, and how do you want to do it? I said, Mark, just pick the subject, what you want to go into. I said, just lead me in, and I'll take over. Doesn't matter what it is. And he was like, okay. And he was even on our podcast, and remember, he and his wife, they were on the podcast. He was on doing one for us. And he even said, he goes, I let him in, and then he just started boom, 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 going here, and said it was so quick. He said, even my wife was like, God. She goes, I've heard some guys that do code. That guy's something else. Literally said it on our podcast. So, for Jeremy to make that kind of statement just goes to show he's got an axe to grind.
Well, what's so funny is I was actually on his podcast before you, the week before, and I just was doing like a kind of a practical common sense thing of what you would look for like estimating on like remodel and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, oh man, do you know who any other guests we'd want to do for next week? I was like, just go get Stallcup, because I was like, he comes on my podcast and we talk about whatever, and it was really cool because I was just so blown away that I could get you on my podcast. I was like, oh man, can I get Stallcup? And then that one day, man, I'll never forget it. It was September 11th, 2021, and I was fuming because I was working at a food processing plant, and we were walking through this thing, and you have to do all this stuff where you have to like go like gown up, and you have to put on beard net, hair net, hard hat, earmuffs, like all this stuff, and you're in all this gear. You have to go wash your hands, then you have to dry your hands off, then you have to put on gloves,
Yeah.
And I was sitting there thinking to myself, if I'm going to die from electrocution, it's not because these hand dryers are an outlet, And I was fuming. I was like, man, I'm going to go home. I'm going to do this podcast right now about GFCI protection, And that was so awesome. You came on spur of the moment, and, I think we put it together in like an hour. Yep. And it was really cool. That's like my 4th ranked podcast of all time, on there on the Willie Jackerson experiment. But it was really cool. And the whole thing is like, well, we didn't really know each other too well, and you were really honest. I was really honest on my side, and it was just really cool that we just kind of like gelled, and we're like, fuck, let's do a podcast, That sounds fun, know.
Look where it is today.
Yeah. No, it's really awesome that, I think I told you, I was like, man, a lot of these electrical podcasts, they're not very interesting. They don't have, like, cool quizzes. They don't do any cool stuff. So, like, let's do something, make it interesting, and roll it. And, boom, here we are, almost 3 years later, still tearing it up, Still got 3 over on the Rumble side. Thanks so much for hanging out on the Rumble side. We got a bunch of people over here. So appreciate it. That's awesome. It's been one of our best episodes this year, and means a lot, man. It means a lot to me, and I appreciate it. We'll just keep bringing you guys the fire.
Yeah, it's amazed me, the the Rumble site was just something we just sort of put on there. It took me a while to figure out how to do it all. But, I mean, hell, we're getting, 10, 15, 20, 30 views, different ones. It's slowly but surely building up over there. And I wasn't really expecting that to happen. But,
Yeah.
I'm glad it did. So,
Yeah. And the whole thing is that the whole reason that you would go over to Rumble is because they're doing a lot of like censorship stuff, and the Rumble side they're not so much. So they're not gonna have to say like explicit content.
So when do you cowards want to actually talk? Well, for one,
I mean, he tried to blow you up at the bar one night, and like I don't know, I think he called you like 26 times or something like that, and you didn't answer.
yeah.
Maybe.
I've got to where go do your own thing. You want to come on here and gripe? I don't care. I'm done over with that.
James, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. I had to tell James to calm down. Are you happy now, Jeremy?
My heart.
It's just so stupid.
I got ventricular fibrillation now. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So dumb. Like, they're like just like trolls that just come out and just try to be disruptive, and it's like whatever. I mean, we're not trying to like cut anyone down. We're just trying to, have a good show and just have fun. So,
well, for one, I mean, I disagree with some of the things they believe in. They disagree with what I believe in. That's fine. I don't care. Yeah. I have my reasons why I believe what I believe, and they have their certain idols that they look up to, and think they just hung the moon, and I think they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And
I would have to agree with that.
I'll give you an example. It's like somebody told me the other day, my coach said, "Thank you for 50 years. You ain't been teaching no 50 years. You're full of crap." I didn't go on there and say anything, but, my dad started, I mean, I graduated.
I did. I went in there and said, I think his math is off.
I guarantee you it is. My dad, I graduated in 1982. I was probably 16 when he was teaching over at Race Street on his own. And he was the first that really come out and was doing those type of things and going out doing seminars and everything. And Mike used to go to Dad's classes. That I know 100%. In fact, I can bring Dad on here, he'll tell you. Of course, you got somebody like Jeremy, he goes, "You got to show proof of that." I mean, of course, that means he's questioning the character of a man that's been doing it for almost 50 years. He'd actually have to go to 2029 in order to put 50 years in. And
right.
He's been doing it longer than anybody that's out there. Matter of fact, he was the senior instructor for NFPA for probably the last 10, 15 years before they quit doing it, because he's been doing it so long. And, if he hadn't, and I can tell you 100% fact, Dad's books were out before Mike's books were ever out, probably 10, 15 years before his come out. So when I'm looking at that and he says, "Thank you for 50 years, that's a lie. Maybe in his mind he thinks he did 50 years, but Dad, he's probably started teaching back in 1979, and that's when he was doing it on his own. That's not including when he taught probably 5 years before that at the union apprenticeship. So, I'm not even counting that. I'm just counting when he had his own publications and started teaching his own. He isn't even at 50 years. And Mike used to go to his classes, but somehow he's done 50 years. That's a lie.
I bet you he's got 50 years being a better instructor than Weed Man.
Well, all I'm trying to point out is that there's, some people stretch the truth, and I can go back and I personally know somebody when he started and how long he's been doing it. And I know a lot of these people that are out there now that are arguing about what our opinion is on something used to go to his classes. So
I can guarantee Stallcup Senior's no idiot, but you know, you can keep saying all stupid crap you want.
I guarantee you
doesn't rile me up.
In the electrical industry that was around when Dad was there, and him coming up and everything he's done in the industry, and if you made that comment to them, they'd look at you and laugh, go, "What an idiot you are," because he's received so many awards through the electrical industry, even from NFPA, from UL. I can just go on and on. IEEE. You know why he did? Because of his contributions and the things that he did and the committees he was on. I've received a bunch of different awards for things that I've done, you know, and for you to come on here and say we're idiots, you know, when you hadn't done anything but teach at an apprenticeship, you know, and teaching apprentices. You know, I've been out to some.
Oh, it's all cool. He's laughing at himself now, so yeah, keep laughing at yourself. That's funny.
I'm just trying to make a point. You know, you come in here and you chastise somebody that has actually gone out, been on committees, spent his own money, going to these committees, contributing to the electrical industry, and then you come in here and call them names and stuff. Well, you hadn't done any of that, you know, and you know, like I'm on the EECA committee. Electrical Equipment, Chemical Atmospheres. I've been on it for a long time, close to probably 30 years, I guess. My own money spent to go be on that committee and go to that. I don't have, you know, I don't work for a company or organization that pays my way. It comes out of my own. I go to the 70E meetings. I pay my own way to that. You know, that money.
Oh, dude, look, Weed Man's he's doing the Joe Biden. Come on, man. Oh, well, man, come on, man.
Those are just facts, you know, and for somebody to come in and then sit there and call you idiot, and they've called me a lot worse than that. But to do that, you know, it's, you know, I made a joke one time. You're a never Stallcuper, just like a never Trumper. Trump goes through the same thing. You know, you got people that attack him because he ends up he's right, like we have been. And, you know, they attack you, you know, because you don't want to agree. And then they come out and say, oh, your material sucks, blah, blah, blah. You're a disgrace. The electrical industry just goes on and on. But yet you'll never post anything to compare to. Why is that? I can tell you why, because you know what the truth is. I'm surprised you hadn't said something about the learning management system saying it is no good. You know,
oh man, he started stroking out in the comments. Oh man, sorry. I guess Weed Man started stroking out. Sorry guys, he's broken. He's broken.
Well, it's just the facts, you know, and that's why I just got to where I don't argue with them anymore, because, you know, they don't want to hear. You know, I always look at everything as you listen to differing opinions. And then you give your reasoning behind it, you know. And I always would say, well, look at this, and then they just start, you know, calling me names, cussing me out and everything. And, you know, I just got, you know, this isn't a code discussion anymore. This is an attack on somebody. And that's why I've got now where I just don't even deal with them. I was like, go ahead, say what you want. The people that are in the electrical industry that actually make decisions, you know, and stuff in these apprenticeships and these colleges and stuff, I can already tell you, Jeremy, they're already looking at what we have. I'm getting calls and everything. And the reason is because I put something together that actually works and is actually good. That's fact.
Yeah.
And if you want to be, you know, come on here and start calling me names and stuff because of it, that's fine. Doesn't bother me. I don't really care. You know, but I'm not.
It doesn't bother me. Like, I think it's hilarious because, you know, the thing is that, you know, somebody's, you know, curriculum is not as good as they think it is, and they want to, like, you know, cause smoke and doubt on your stuff because they know it's that much better. And, you know, the thing is, I'm really excited what you're doing, James, and, you know, like I say, you're King James for a reason. You know, they made the King James name, you know.
the last 5 years, I've worked my rear end off to get this thing set up the way it is. I mean, I've really have put in a lot of time, and just started this year. I've been working my rear end off just to get the Journeyman and Masters on, and I'm finishing the presentation right now. I'm about to put it on, and then I'm going to the 70E, and then it's code change book. I mean, this is going to be a nonstop through the 2026 cycle, and I'll be putting it on very quickly too. And once we finish the design book, because there's about 1,300 illustrations in there that are being updated. I've probably done about 30%, 40% of them now. But once I get those done, I'm pretty much complete. And then when you put that together, and that is our best-selling books, the design, once it goes in color and all those individual chapters you can purchase and do all this, I mean, we're in pretty good shape at that point. So I'm looking forward to it.
I agree. And it's funny because, like, these guys come in here and say we don't have an argument or whatever, but they're not looking at the whole entire code as a whole. So I really appreciate that. That's what is kind of cool for us to come in here and kind of look at the whole entire code as a whole and kind of bust these myths and get people kind of on the right path. And like I say, there's still so more that I need to go through that people say every day where they're just like, oh, that's bundling. It's like, no, it's not.
Well, I'm just curious. What do we not have an argument about? What is he talking about? Is he still talking about the outlet?
It's hard to say. Like, he changes the subject. So, like, what's so funny? This is really funny, James. I got this screenshot from you, right? But you posted up a screenshot. I think it was from either 1979 or 1981, somewhere in there. And it says, we want to be able to use the table for all made electrodes, and they rejected it and said no. Code Making Panel 5 rejected it and said, no, you can't use the table for all made electrodes. And now they're coming back in 2025 and saying you can use the table. So to me, honestly, that's cool. If you use the table, cool. If they come out in 2026 say you can use the table, right on. But they're disagreeing with the previous code-making statements from what I can see.
It doesn't make any difference to me. If that's what they want, I don't care. It doesn't affect me one way or the other. I just point out what was previously stated, and then we'll go there. Proof they made the change. Y'all did.
It was the ECD boys. I did it live to prove it. Like, you didn't even know we were talking about it.
Yeah, I remember it getting posted up, and I was laughing, and then it became a joke at that point, and everybody started calling me that. I was like, okay, whatever, I don't care. But
no, we don't care.
As I'm not sure what he's asking for proof.
We don't care, dude. It's like, whatever, come in here and have fun with us, man. Appreciate it.
I'll tell you what I do care about. I do care about somebody that went out and posted, apparently, that we were no longer in the electrical portion and we're no longer publishing. Yeah, I do care about that because somebody was lying. And as a matter of fact, this is 4 or 5 years ago, when I started doing some of the social media, getting known, I had people actually come and say, I thought you wasn't doing this anymore. I was like, where the hell did you hear that? And they said, that's a rumor that's going around. It was posted. I could never find it, but I care about somebody making statements that ain't true, True. And I do care. And you say, our material sucks, we're wrong, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I do care about that because we strive to make sure our content is correct as possible. And, that's why I'm willing to put it up against anything out there and let's post up and compare because I know what our material is.
I want to do one last little rebuttal and say, I do care, Jeremy. I want everything to work, regardless if they try to say it has to be on a Class A device, because to me personally, when stuff doesn't work, it doesn't matter. And the whole thing is, if you have that justified, that merit behind that code change where people are getting hurt, injured, I'm 100% King James. Like, we care. We want people to be safe. We care about electrical safety. But when this stuff is, when people are not getting hurt by hardwired utilization equipment, and you got to call it an outlet to be right, I got a problem with that. So that's where I'm at with it.
I put it in the code change book, and even when they were adding it, but when I'd go out and teach, I'd tell them I don't agree with them putting AFCI protection in. I think it's a bad product, and they
Sure.
kept pushing, and you've got now where you got contractor here in Texas where the AFCI keeps tripping. They go out and they just take the AFC out and put a regular thermal mag in. Well, yeah, I got a problem with something like that, but I still put it in the code change publication because it was a change that took place. But I'm just, that is speaking reality of what people are seeing. And it's just like when it happened, I said there was a problem with GFCI protection for an AC unit because it's going to trip. There's no way you can put Class A on that. And sure enough, what was happening? It was tripping, and that goes back to where they didn't do the technical merit that was needed in order to put that change in. So yeah,
I thought the whole definition of outlet changed, Jeremy, for 2026. Yeah, we said that was going to happen. We said that there was going to be big changes in the 2026, and there was. They changed the definition of outlet. So,
well, first of all, let me go on that. And when you look at what happened in 2026, they said Don Gennari's proposal was going to prove me wrong, and it was going to be accepted. It didn't get accepted. Then Jeremy and all the rest of them over at ECD said, well, the reason it didn't change is because the definition was perfectly clear. Then the second revision comes out, and guess what? They changed it, so apparently it wasn't perfectly clear. So, and I can tell you that definition
and then
that they written,
it didn't even change. And then it didn't even change the way Don Gennari wanted it, because he wanted it to be where the utilization equipment conductors connect to luminaires. He had all this whole list of things. They just took the one little basic thing. And what's so funny is, like, Weedman doesn't, he doesn't understand that if this changes the way it is, they're basically saying there's no outlet at cord and plug connected equipment, so they changed the reverse.
That's right.
They reversed it on themselves.
That says where it's connected to utilization equipment. Well, if that's the case, then where's the outlet? I mean,
there's never an outlet.
Where it's connecting at that point to the device. I mean, you can't say that. And are you going to now going to say a device is utilization equipment? Give me a break.
It's not covered by the National Electric Code if you're saying it's where the branch circuit. Well, the thing is, this is the big thing that I was talking to with my apprentice the other day, because there has to be conductors that are undefined, because you're saying that the branch circuit ends here and this is the lighting outlet, and then you have conductors that go from the lighting outlet to the luminaire. So what are those conductors called? Are they part of the branch circuit? Because Weedman wants to say that the lighting outlet is inside the luminaire, but it can't be, because that's a factory installed whip. So there's a gray area there with a set of conductors that are undefined.
That's like I said, the outlet's the ceiling outlet box. That's what I've been stating the whole time, and that's why they got a problem.
I'm showing your comments, Jeremy. They're right here. See, I'm showing them.
And I'll take it a step further when you look at that. This is why I've stated you've got to look at what's there. But it goes back to one other point I was getting at. You get these members are always getting changed out on these code making panels, and they're put in there by an organization or a manufacturer. They don't really know the code. And to watch what they just did to the definition of outlet shows you got people on that panel that don't really understand what the argument is. because they literally put utilization equipment, and all they had to do is just go. I mean, that proves exactly things I've been saying, just with that one comment.
It shocked me because they were like, none of your public inputs are gonna pass. So I was like, cool. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to make public inputs that fail on purpose, you know? Mm-hmm. So I went out there putting them all like, I'm going to add outlet to individual branch circuit, fail. You know, I was trying to put all this stuff in there. You know, I was like, cool. All right, they're all going to fail. Cool. Let's get them all to fail. And then when they do, and the inspector says, nah, that's an outlet, I'll be like, nah, it's not on an individual branch circuit. You know? Right. And the one that passed was just totally blew me away was 62554. Here comes Mike Holt doing this whole video, and he's like, this is totally screwing EBSE. Well, you were all for it with AC units, with this kid dying in 2020, and now all of a sudden you're against it for EBSE? You can't have it both ways, and I wanted to show that they were picking and choosing. I wanted to show that they were, like, if you're going to say this over here in the code, you got to say this over here in the code. And now they want in 2026 to say this over here, say this over here. They're the same, whatever. But at the same time, I think the electric vehicle service equipment people are going to have some problems because they don't have no technical merit. Again, they have zero. They have zero incidents worldwide to go off of to push their agenda. You know, that's not a good reputation if you're going to try to get that thing to pass. If it passes, I don't think anybody's going to adopt it. I think they're just going to just ignore it and just be like, oh, whatever, they passed some stupid crap, whatever, you know.
We're going to see, because I think when it gets to the Technical Correlating Committee and the Standards Council, there's going to be a problem there. Matter of fact, I'm sort of curious to see if the manufacturers are going to be okay with NEC overriding their instructions. I think you're going to have some of those manufacturers go in and complain, say, the hell it does. If that's the case,
I just want to let Weedman know that I'm a practicing electrician. I actually work out in the field. I don't sit in a union office all week. We actually have the luminaires come out with a factory whip on them. So I don't know what world you're living in, but yeah, we have those come factory wired with luminaire whips on them. And
well, let's wrap it up. I'm tired. I got a lot to do tonight.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks so much. Appreciate everyone joining in. Thanks so much, Daniel J. Thanks so much. David Englehart, Mr. E, popping in, and thanks so much all our regular trolls for showing up and having fun with us. We appreciate it, and boom, I got you on the Willie Quiz. So I was working hard to try to get you a little harder one and try to get you a little bit. So I'll do a little bit better. And then I'm going to have a tiebreaker so that Daniel can be the official champion. But I appreciate everyone. Thanks for joining. And Daniel is the 7-time champion of the Willie Quiz. And he will always be the 7-time champion of the Willie Quiz. Thanks everyone for joining. And as always, remember, make every day an easy day.
Man, we'll see everybody next Thursday. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Go Notre Dame.